2018 was such a rich year for films. There was so much diversity and so many original stories being told, from the soaring heights of the superhero to the emotions evoked in powerful ways by the underrated indie flick. These were my 10 favourite films of last year. Number 10. Searching. This is an underrated gem I highly recommend watching. Searching tells the tense and touching tale of the Kim family through the lens of technology. Every shot in this film is of a computer or camera screen. Sounds off-putting at first, but trust me, once you start watching, you will be hooked. John Cho is outstanding in the role of Father David Kim, searching desperately for his missing daughter Margot. The filter of social media, websites, and news cameras should come across as cold and distant. However, Cho portrays such a complex and realistic father that you connect and sympathize with his situation instantly. The story is filled with twists and turns, and you will be completely caught up in the mystery behind Margot Kim's disappearance. Number 9. Bohemian Rhapsody. 2018 saw the long-awaited Queen and Freddie Mercury biopic hit the big screen. And despite being wrought with behind-the-scenes controversy, it proved to be one of the best films of the year. Rami Malek brought Freddie Mercury back to life with his phenomenal, transformative performance. In fact, the entire cast was absolutely fabulous, all virtually unknown performers who were total doppelgangers of their real-life counterparts. Whilst the story did take some tiny liberties in regards to the actual events, that did not by any means ruin the overall experience. Getting a wonderful insight into how all of Queen's iconic songs were created was worth the admission price. Plus, the recreation of the legendary Live Aid concert, to say it was simply awesome would be a huge understatement. Number 8. Vice. There is a reason Christian Bale thanked Satan in his Golden Globe Award acceptance speech. Dick Cheney just might be the Antichrist. In the same vein as The Big Short, writer-director Adam McKay found a hugely entertaining way to dissect one of the most awful people, honestly, in human history. Bale brings his A-game as usual in the lead role, captivating us with every single second he's on screen, even making us feel for Dick Cheney, which just should not be possible. Heavy-hitting actors such as Amy Adams, Steve Carell, and Sam Rockwell all knock it out of the park. Like Bale, they inhabit these real people like they have taken Polyjuice Potion. And I love Jesse Plemons' part as the narrator. The reveal of his connection to Dick Cheney will knock the wind out of you. Number 7. Black Panther. The first of 3 Marvel Cinematic Universe films to be released in 2018, Black Panther was a huge success. Since his introduction in 2016's Captain America Civil War, a film led by Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa showcasing the might of Wakanda was highly anticipated. Black Panther is a wonderful superhero film featuring a wealth of deep and interesting characters, stunning visuals, and one of the most compelling villains in Michael B. Jordan's Eric Killmonger. It was also incredibly groundbreaking in terms of representation. With a cast of almost entirely black actors, it has inspired millions worldwide and proven exactly the power representation has. Not to mention the strong female characters on display who repeatedly kick butt. Wakanda Forever. Number 6. Deadpool 2. X-Force. Oh, that's a little bit similar, isn't it? The fourth wall-breaking anti-hero returned in 2018 with an awesome sequel. Whilst not as good as its predecessor, it still encompassed everything that makes Deadpool so great. From bloody action scenes that are just as funny as they are violent, to self-aware jokes referencing the X-Men and the MCU. One of the major highlights was the introduction of new characters. They all fit so well into the world, helping to make it a super enjoyable ride. Between Domino, Cable, Fire Fist, and the iconic members of the X-Force, I cannot single out a favourite character. And of course, Ryan Reynolds nailed it once again with maximum effort as the Merc with a mouth. A shout out to Once Upon a Deadpool for referencing one of my favourite movies ever, The Princess Bride. Number 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, this is how you do a sequel. Ant-Man and the Wasp was the perfect follow-up to 2015's Ant-Man, providing fans with the laughs they needed after the events of Avengers Infinity War. More on that later. We finally got to see Evangeline Lilly suit up as the titular Wasp, and boy did she kick some butt. She is the perfect foil for the goofy Scott Lang, played continuously well by Paul Rudd. There are so many wonderful moments throughout this film, including the action scenes and the inventive ways they use Ant-Man's size. But my favourite thing about it is the comedy. I lost count of the amount of times I was laughing my head off watching this. It is so much fun and gets better with each watch. Also, Michelle Pfeiffer for the win. Number 4, Love, Simon. Based on the best-selling novel Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda, this is a film everyone needs to see. This is a high school coming-of-age movie from the perspective of someone we don't usually get. Nick Robinson's portrayal of the titular character is so genuine and vulnerable. He makes you fall in love with Simon and simultaneously sympathise with his struggle. Whether you are gay, straight, or however you identify, we can all relate to how Simon feels about Blue, the boy he has a crush on. The movie also contains a stellar supporting cast, including Jennifer Garner, Josh Duhamel, and Catherine Langford, who all excel in their roles. Love, Simon is a breath of fresh air, and filled with so much heart, you will be brought to tears. Number 3, A Star is Born. You would think that a film that has been remade 3 different times would run out of steam, but apparently not. Audiences worldwide were blown away with Bradley Cooper's stunning directorial debut. This version of A Star is Born is fantastic from top to bottom. The performances are so genuine and heartbreaking, particularly from Cooper and, in her first leading role, Lady Gaga. She is absolutely awe-inspiring, vulnerable, and authentic. The turbulent love story of Jackson and Ally is one you cannot help but be invested in. Hearing the music and listening to them singing will take your breath away. It is one thing to hear these songs on the radio, but to see them brought to life in context of the story is simply spectacular. Cooper and Gaga are a match made in heaven. Number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Arguably the best Spider-Man film ever made, Into the Spider-Verse is just incredible and hands down one of the best animated films I've ever seen. A different take on the same iconic web slinger sees Miles Morales in the lead role, supported by a cast of various different spider heroes. The characters are relatable and interesting, and the story pulls you in and keeps surprising you. This is a superhero film done in a different yet familiar way, with creative and comic-like animation that dazzles your eyes. There are even genuine moments of sadness and heartbreak. But my favourite thing was how all the different versions of Spider-Man were portrayed. Each iteration brought something fun and different to the table, making this film one hell of an enjoyable ride. Honourable mentions: A Quiet Place. Be very, very quiet. I'm going to willingly get pregnant, even though babies make so much noise, and that noise could kill us all. Shh. Blockers. It's American Pie from the parents' point of view, except much funnier and better written. Also, John Cena! Game Night. Jesse Plemons needs to be in everything. This comedy is one of the best I have seen in a while. Black Klansman. I cannot believe this actually happened. Everyone needs to watch this movie, still relevant over 40 years later. Boy Erased. I can't believe this is actually still happening. There is nothing wrong with being gay. Thank you to everyone who worked on this film for sharing Jared Connolly's incredible and heartbreaking story. And my number 1 favourite film of 2018 is Avengers: Infinity War. There was absolutely no chance that any other film was going to beat out Infinity War for the top spot. Seeing this for the first time was honestly one of the best cinema experiences I have ever had. After 10 years of storytelling, Marvel Studios achieved something truly great and changed the way forever that blockbusters are made. Who would have thought that when Nick Fury appeared at the end credits of the first Iron Man film, that it would all lead to this? My favourite thing about this movie has to be the collision of the Avengers with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Seeing them interact with each other for the first time was like Christmas to me, and it gave us so many funny and epic moments. And Josh Brolin's performance as Thanos was game-changing. The wait for the Mad Titan was so worth it. But I suppose none of us expected that ending and just the overwhelming amount of heartbreak. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. P.S. Loki's not dead. I'll never think of dust the same way again. There they are, film nerds, my top 10 favourite films of 2018. Leave me a comment below, let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Fred the Alien for more videos just like this one. You can also find me on SoundCloud and iTunes as one of the hosts of a podcast called Fred and the monthly at Winifred's. I've been a Kendall Richardson and you've just experienced Collectible Chaos.